Hey guys, welcome back to OK Jank, bringing you another deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard. This is for Spike Brothers. It's for the standard format, but then I'll also go through and explain how I turn it into a premium format. So the premium format deck will be Standard Plus, where you just introduce a couple of premium cards and a G-Zone, and you make this deck work really well in premium. So Spike Brothers, starting with the Mecha Trainer. When rolled upon, draw a card. It's a Force Clan. In Standard, I like to use Force 2 for the crit, which hit the power anyway. And then in Premium, depending on the matchups, I will normally go into Force 1 just because power beats crit in that format when you've got G guards and things. So the trigger lineup: 4 heal, 4 draw PG, and 8 crit. I was running this a little bit differently last time. My local tournament, I think I took 2 crit out and added in 2 more draw. But the 8 crit applies pressure and is just so much nicer to finish games. A draw trigger, as nice as they are, does not finish a game, does not win you the game. So grade 3s. And shout out to Danny Dang on the YouTube comments from my last Rising profile. As you'll see, he's uploaded some great Vanguard content himself to be commenting as he was. But the Force Siegfried, your opponents will not let this hit, so I've added an attack card. I'll show you in a second. But can't blast one, put a rearguard in soul, search it, call it to rearguard, search for another copy of that rearguard, call it, and it'll get 10,000 power as well as free getting 10,000 power. And then when it attack hits, soul blast 2, stun one of your rearguards, and retire one of your opponents. That's why your opponent won't ever let it hit. And then you go 4 Juggernaut Maximum. When placed, gains 10,000 power, and then at the beginning of your main phase, put it into your soul and search one out of your deck and call it to rearguard. So you're always going to be getting a 10k each turn if you use this. You don't have to put it into soul, but sometimes you want to just to build the soul. And because your opponent won't let Siegfried hit, I've put in 1 Unite Attacker, because you can also cycle this back into the deck fairly easily. And you shuffle and deck thin enough that you'll see him again. Is Act, Soul Blast 7, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, call 5 cards from among them to rearguard, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. 3 of your front row units also gain 5,000 power until end of turn. It's nice if you've not got a board state. If you're against things like Kagero or Narukami, it will finish games for you, depending on what you've got left in deck. But yeah, a nice little tech. On to the grade 2s. Got 4 Spike Bouncer. When placed, Count Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. Look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as your Vanguard's grade. So if you ride him, look at top 2, call 1 to rearguard, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Then on the rearguard, at the end of the battle it attacked, doesn't need to hit. Just counter blast and put it in soul and draw a card. So it builds soul again and draws a card. So it's nice. There to keep combos going. Then 4 High Speed Bracky is the grade 2 version of the Juggernaut Maximum. One place, gains 10,000 power, beginning of the main phase, put it to soul and search another copy out from your deck. Then 3 Treasured Black Panther. When it attacks, Soul Blast 1, this unit gets 5,000 power or 15,000 power. If you gave it 15,000 power at the end of the battle, it goes into soul. So again, it can hit for high numbers that your opponent's maybe not expecting, and then it fills soul. Again, so it replaces the cost for doing that. Or you can leave it on the field after swinging as a 15k, and then you've got 5k intercept still. So it's just nice. Grade 1s, got 4 Wonder Boy. when placed, put a non-grade 1 from your drop into the bottom of your deck, and this unit gets 5,000 power. And then at the beginning of your main phase, put this unit into your soul, search deck for Underboy, and call it to rearguard or shuffle your deck. So you put in triggers back usually, or another copy of Bracky or Maximum. But if you do have a Unite Attacker in the heal, in your damage, and you healed it into the drop, or if you guarded with it for a perfect guard or something, you can always shuffle that back in if your opponent isn't letting Siegfried hit. So that's nice, because it was a 13k attacker as well, if you need it to be. And then going for Jarrow Slinger, which is when placed, put a card from your hand into your soul, look at the set number of cards as your Vanguard's grade from top of your deck, call one to rearguard, and that unit that you call gets 5,000 power. So if you're going second, you ride him, you draw off the starter skill, and then you can put that card or any card in your hand into soul and call out another unit. It's always good when you hit a Juggernaut Maximum on this and you swing for 23k on your first turn. Well, it'd be 28k because of the 5k boost this gives. It's always nice. And then we've got 3, Commander Gary Cannon. When it boosted hits, it goes into soul and draws 2, so it fills the soul and deck filters, and then you put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck after you've drawn the 2. So filters your hand, filters your deck, and fills soul. And then for the final spaces, we've got 2, Funky Bazooka. When your other rear guy is placed in the same column as this unit, it gets 5,000 power until the end of turn. This is in just because I'm running the Unite Attacker. If you call these out, it still gets the 5k because everything's called at once, so it's called in the same column. These are 12k boosts. It also works quite well with like Wonder Boys and the Bracky and the Maximums, recalling them out if you're against clans that don't retire. It's extra power all the time. It's nice. So then, to make it into a premium build, there's a couple of changes that I make. Let me just, so I run 3 Acrobat Verdi. It takes out the Funky Bazookas and usually a Jarrow Slinger. Then you're running more of a 3-3-3 type lineup in your grade 1s. Is your stride fodder. Don't necessarily need him. You also take out the Unite Attacker if you want to keep the Jarrow Slingers and things in, but I take them out for that. And then I run 2 Mayhem Tiger. This is why I run in premium Force 1s usually, just so that this can hit a bit more consistently. Because having a guard breaking skill is no good if you're not going to hit anyway. So he is a 9k base charge, which is at the end of the turn. Sorry. At the end of the battle, it goes into the bottom of the deck. But then, rearguard, when your opponent puts a card on G during the battle, this unit attacks Vanguard. If this unit's charging, pay the cost. If you do, and the cost is Soul Blast 1, you can retire a grade 2 or less Guardian that your opponent puts. So, because you call Guardians one at a time, you can choose which Guardian to do it on. So, if they call a grade 2 and it's just 5k, you don't have to do it. And then if they call a grade 2 that gains like 10k shield extra when it's placed on Guardian or something like that, you can then do it so that your opponent needs to call again to get the guard shield up, which is why I force 1 for this, just so it hits. Then we swap out 4 of the crits for 4 of the V crits. Obviously, it still offers the same shield value and the same power increase, and then it's got when your Vanguard attacks, put this into soul, draw a card, and one of your units getting 10k. So it goes into soul, it draws your card and gives 10k to your Vanguard. You can just call it down behind your Vanguard. It's fine. It does what it does. It's a straight swap for some of the crits. And then run 4 Mecha Instructor. Now, as I mentioned, like some people have commented that you should be running 3 of this. I run 4 because consistency, and I like a bit of aggro, so I'll always swing with a rearguard first if I've got 3 front row Vanguard and 2 rearguards. You can just run it as a 3 and run more crits. It's up to you, it's personal choice. I do like to go rainbow, 4 stand, 4 crit, 4 heal, 4 draw PG though in the premium build. You need to test with it yourself and find what you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with 4. And then into the G zone, I'm running 3 Hexen Jace. When this unit's placed on guard, choose 3 units from your drop zone with different grades and put them on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you put 3 cards against 10,000 power until end of turn, yeah, that's right, yeah. So it becomes a 25k shield. And cycles in back key cards, so you can cycle Wonder Boys back in, you can cycle heals and triggers back in, and you can cycle Juggernaut Maximums and Brackies back in as you need them. So 3 Hexen Gaze, then 1 Juggernaut Maximum. When this unit is placed on Guardian, choose one of your grade 2 or less rearguards, and you can have that gain 10,000 power until end of turn. If you do, this unit gets 10,000 power until end of turn, end of the battle, sorry. And at the end of the turn, put the rearguard that you chose to give the 10,000 power to on the bottom of your deck. I don't see the point so much about the 10,000 power to the rearguard. It's nice, it stops your opponent swinging into it, but at the same time, you're not staying on the field. I would run Dismal over this, just to give something resist, but I don't have a copy of Dismal. Then I'm running 2 King of Interference Terrible Linus, which is, when placed, you can choose a face down G guard from your G zone, turn it face up, and then it gains 10,000 power until end of turn for every 2 of your open rearguard circles. So if you've got 2 open rearguard circles, it's a 25k shield. If you've got 4, it's a 35k shield. Unfortunately, if you've got all open rearguard circles, it doesn't gain anything extra for that extra additional circle. It'd be so good if it was an XL clan. It would be probably the most broken G-Guard that there is, other than maybe the Shadow Paladin one that gains so much power for all the grade 1s. Then I'm running 1 Zeraf Dragon Dust, just because I took Seabreeze out because Seabreeze feels a bit dead in this current format, and he's a little bit of a pressure. I've never used him once. Then running 1 Great Villain Dirty Picaro, GB3, when it attacks. Card Blast 2, choose a face down card from your Z zone, turn it face and put a card from your hand into the zone. Search your deck for up to 1 card for each face card in your G zone. Call the search cards to open rearguard and shuffle your deck. So at a minimum, you're searching for 3 because it's a GB3 skill. Your minimum is 2 because it's face up. I forget that this counts as GB, so that'll be GB3. So 2 from your G zone, but usually you'll have played something that's flipping at least twice before this, so searching for 4 usually. It's really good as a finisher. Just remember, you do need to choose a card from hand to use the skill. It's caught me out a few times. Then I'm running 1 Heat Element Merindol. This will be a copy of the Progenitor Dragon when I get a hold of one. I'm still not fully updated the decks yet, but it unflips something, and doesn't cost anything else for the skill, just a little bit of pressure if you really need. And then Hellhard 8, never used it, it's just unflip fodder for me. Then 2, Violence Ace. I love the draw when you use it late enough. Usually I'll play it as the 3rd stride or the 4th stride, so I'm drawing quite a lot. Sometimes it worries me because you deck thinning with the deck anyway, but then you get power, and it's the guard that's really good, especially when you've got Mayhem Tiger in and you call that out all of a sudden and your opponent's got very few cards left in hand and they're expecting you not to be able to call anything. It's nice. I was unsure about it at first, but I'm enjoying it. And then final, running 4, Agrius. He's the MVP of the premium build. Him with the stand triggers and the spike bouncers and gyro slingers, it just keeps the combos going. I mean, you can get so many multiple attacks off it, and if your opponent doesn't hit defensive triggers, you can kill them out in one turn with this if they're on a couple of damage to start with. It's really aggressive. I love this card. MVP of the deck, as I say. It's a deck I'd recommend anyone picks up and plays. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. But that's it for the Spike Brothers Standard Plus deck profile. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If there's any feedback, please leave a comment. Cheers.